I don't even have anything snarky or clever to say about this game for the introduction, so let's just cut to my reaction. Welcome to the Worst Racing Games, the internet series where you guys suggest different racing games that you think are terrible, and then I play them, review them, and rank them. So last week, the wheel cursed us with Taxi 2 for the original PlayStation, and honestly, after that, I didn't think it could really get that much worse, but, you know, I can be proven wrong. This is Cubix Robots for Everyone Race and Robots. Yep, that's a name that certainly just rolls off the tongue, isn't it? So this game released in November 2001 for the Game Boy Color and the original PlayStation, and eventually it made its way over to Europe in 2002. Obviously today we are looking at the original PlayStation version. This was developed by Blitz Games and published by the 3DO company. Blitz Games were known for making a variety of licensed tie-in games, such as Chicken Run, The Mummy Returns, Fairly Odd Parents, Barbie, Bad Boys, SpongeBob. There's a lot going on here. They did actually make a couple of good games, but then they also made SpongeBob Surf and Skate Road Trip, so, you know, make of that what you will. Now, looking at this cover art, honestly, it actually looks kinda cool. Aside from the fact that it's called Robots for Everyone, I think the robots themselves actually look kinda charming, but, you know, let's see how that translates into the game. Oh dear. Alright, so yeah, this game is based off of a TV show that's either known as Cubix or Cubix Robots for Everyone. It was originally a Korean show that ended up getting an English dub and was broadcast on WB Kids, or Kids WB, in 2001 to 2003. The show had 2 seasons, each consisting of 13 episodes, which means that the show actually had more tie-in games than it did seasons of the actual show. Because after this, you had Clash and Bash, and then the final title was just Showdown, which was on the PlayStation 2 and GameCube in 2003. Anyway, so when you boot up the game, you're greeted with a very standard looking menu with the Cubix logo along with a checkered flag waving in the background, just so you know that this is a racing game. You get a few options. There's story mode, versus mode, coin race, and picture gallery. So let's just break each of those down. So story mode is obviously where you'll be spending the bulk of your time with the game. And when I say bulk of your time, I don't mean like a long period of time. I mean like half an hour, because it genuinely takes less than 35 minutes to complete every single race in the story mode. Versus mode is just the standard races, but with up to 4 players at once, which is kinda cool, but sadly I wasn't really able to test this one. And then there's coin race, where you pick one of 9 different tracks, and then you just do the race as normal, but whoever has the most coins at the end wins. You pick them up on the track, and that's it. And then picture gallery is just images of robots that you unlock just by playing through the main story and picking up these collectibles. They're not very good images, but hey, at least they are there. Alright, so the actual racing. Now that we're in the story mode, let's get into it. So, you control your robot literally just using the left analog stick. You push it in the direction you want it to go in, and it will go in that direction. You press the X button to use your power-up, and that's it. Those are the 2 controls that you're going to need. The camera is from a very zoomed out perspective, almost top down but not quite, and the angling is just not great. 9 times out of 10 you can't really see what's coming ahead of you, and it's not because there's not enough space on the screen, it's just the way that the camera's positioned that you can't see anything. It's so stupidly designed. All of the robots that you get in the games, there's 4 at the start and you unlock 1 after you beat the story, they all handle perfectly fine, they turn very quickly, so there's no issues there. It just isn't very fun to play because the tracks are all designed very poorly, the camera's horrible, and the whole game just isn't very fun. In terms of power-ups, you've got a few different options to choose from. There's a speed boost, which doesn't feel very good, a kind of landmine you drop down, there's missiles, and then a shield to deflect missiles coming from other opponents. But, to be so honest, I did not see any of the other characters use a pickup once in my entire playthrough. What's more frustrating is that of the 9 individual races that you get in this game throughout the story, By race 4, you're already on reused environments. There are only 3 different environments in this game, and 2 of them are fairly similar. Come on, that's so lazy and so cheap. So as you progress through each race, if you win, you get 500 points, and you can put those points towards upgrading your robots. There are a few different upgrades, such as upgraded items, and also an engine upgrade for 2,000 points. So basically, if you're going to play this game, not that you should, let's be real, but if you are, win the first 4 races, accumulate 2,000 points, and upgrade your engine, and that's it. You'll never, ever have any competition ever again, because oh my god, you enter the Speed Force, it's so fast. Especially compared to the AI opponents that you're up against, you just zoom off into the distance. I swear, on the last few races, I was nearly lapping people. And there's only 3 laps, and these aren't exactly small tracks either. Let's just compare my robot speed at the start of the game versus the end of the game. Yeah, wow, that is pretty fast. Now, there is a story in this game as well, because obviously it's based off of a kids' TV show, so they're going to try and incorporate elements of that TV show into the game. Now, the essential basics are that there's a Grand Prix coming to their town, everyone wants to build robots to race, and that's pretty much it. But there's also some evil robot, or robots, I can't really tell, the cutscenes are so low res, that are trying to cause havoc, but to be honest, you don't really see that unfold in the actual races themselves. There are some cutscenes that kind of show this off, but the minute you jump into a race, it's just back to standard 4-player racing. Now, as far as I know, these cutscenes were made specifically for the game and aren't just clips taken from the show, so at least if you're a fan of the show or were a fan of the show, this is a pretty cool inclusion, so at least there is something there for fans. Because, by god, it's not the racing. Alright, so what about visually? Now, I'm sure you've probably worked this out for yourself, but this isn't exactly a decent-looking game. Yeah, it's kind of colourful because the show is, but outside of that, the models aren't great, it's all super low res, and it runs at about 20 to 24 FPS, but, you know, at least that's without slowdown. But I'd be very surprised if there was any lag, because of the way that the camera's angled, you can't really see any incoming scenery, so it's not like they've got pop-in to deal with. I don't know. Anyway, the special effects are all very bargain basement quality, the polygon count and texture mapping on the environments and bots are just very bland, and even though there are CG cutscenes that are pretty much like the show, they are so compressed that they just don't look good at all. And as I mentioned earlier, in terms of the tracks, the environments are just so bland because you've already seen all the environments the game has to offer after you've played for literally about 8 minutes of gameplay. But hey, at least the menu design is okay, and the character select screen is alright, but, you know, I wouldn't really say that's worth the money paying for the game. So yeah, visually it's kind of bland, but how is it in terms of its sound design? Well. It's not good, guys. In fact, I would say it's very bad. Some of the sound effects loop over and over again, the sound of the robots racing is horrible, the music is very generic. There's just nothing to like about this game in terms of its sound design. I'll just play you like 10 seconds of it and you'll know exactly what I mean. It's just this kind of blur together mix of noises that just play. I don't know how else to describe them. It just sounds like noise, and I don't mean that in a nice way. So in terms of critical response, this game did not perform very well. Obviously, it's kinda hard to find some proper critic reviews of a very niche game for the original PlayStation, but thanks to Moby Games, there are a couple that I have found. The official UK PlayStation magazine particularly were quite harsh, giving it a 10% out of 100. The highest review for the PlayStation version was a 49% from PSX Nation. But the bottom line is, this ain't a good game. On Moby Games as well, it does have a user review score, and from 2 different players it has a 1-star rating. Now, of course, I was not able to find any sales figures for this game whatsoever, so that kinda again tells you everything you need to know, but just out of morbid curiosity, I thought I'd hop on over to price charting and see what the actual value of this game kind of is in today's retro game market. So if you just want a complete copy of this game for the original PlayStation, at least for the PAL regions where I'm from, you're looking at just under £10. For brand new, still sealed, about 40 quid. That's like nothing in terms of sealed, very old game prices. Damn, this is not a collector's item at all. Alright, so now the time has come to rank Cubix Robots for Everyone, Race and Robots, I'm so sick of that title, on our worst racing games tier list. Now, this is not a good game at all. It's really not. I don't really like top-down racers anyway. It's just not really a genre that I've ever got into. There's definitely good games in that genre that I need to check out, but all the games in the top-down racing genre that I have played have not been fun. However, with that said, this did not make me smash up my desk like Taxi 2 for the original PlayStation did last week. And the way this game is designed and how goofy and silly it is, it's almost so bad that it's kind of good, but it's not quite there. So I think Cubix Racing Robots game, I can't be asked to say it again, is hot garbage. It's just hot garbage. It's not a good game, it's not fun, but hey, at least it actually works. It functions, you can win races, you can unlock stuff. It's just incredibly boring, very easy, and very, very short. I believe this game would have cost about $20-ish on launch back in the day, and even that feels like way too much money for the amount of content that you're actually getting. Half of that price is basically just paying for those compressed cutscenes, to be honest. Now, I realise this is actually quite a short episode of Worst Racing Games, but to be honest, the game takes less time to complete than the length of half of my videos, so there's not really that much that I can say to drag it out, because otherwise I'm just going to be repeating myself, so apologies for the shorter video, but there really isn't much else that I can say about a game that takes half hour to complete. So yeah, that takes us to the end of our look at Cubix Robots blah 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 blah. I hope you enjoyed the video. Share all your thoughts in the comments down below on this game, on the series. If you watched it, are you going to go play the game now? Because, you know, if you're on your lunch break at work, you could get it finished. As always, if you have a suggestion for what you want to see in the series, pop that down there as well. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like, and if you haven't done so already, subscribe and tap that bell for notifications to stay up to date with my future uploads. A massive shout out to my Patreon subscribers for the continued support, and all I really have left to say is thank you and goodbye.